Question 26, we're asked to find this length here. Now this is not a right angled triangle, so it's not your basic trigonometry, which means it's going to be advanced trigonometry, which is the sine rule or the cosine rule. So that's our first decision. Which one is it? Now they've got L, M's and N's, and I know some of you out there would like to just cross them out and put A's, B's and C's, but just because most people probably don't, I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to say that this side is little l, this side is little n, and this side is little m. Now, I know that there are 3 sides involved and 1 angle. So I can use the cosine rule normally for 3 sides and 1 angle, but I'm wary this is worth 5 marks, so it might be a little bit trickier. And I'll show you what I mean. So if I wanted to find this, so it'd be m squared, and the cosine rule, which you are given, but you might as well just remember it, it's pretty easy, is n squared plus l squared minus 2 lots of whatever that is, times cos of the angle opposite the side you're trying to find, which therefore means this one, which I don't have. So I can't use that formula. And this is why it's worth 5 marks. So what I'm going to have to try and do is maybe find one of these angles first. Now to find this angle I would need that side, so that's out the window. But I could find this angle here because I have this side using the sine rule. So over here I'm going to write this. So sine of angle L divided by L is equal to sine of angle N equal to N, little n. I could put sine of m over n, but then I would be cancelling those out. So let's put the numbers in. So sine of L, that's what I'm trying to find, over 12.8 is equal to the sine of 136 over 15.7. Now, don't get overwhelmed at this stage because it just looks a bit complicated. Just type this into your calculator. So sine 136 equals, divide 15.7, and you get 0.044, and that goes on for a long while. And that is equal to this. But if I wanted to get sine of angle L on its own, at the moment it's been divided by 12.8, so I can go ahead and times by 12.8. So if I just press times, remember that answer, don't have to retype anything, 12.8, and that gives me 0.566, etc. Now I need to get L on its own. And it helps if you understand all about trig graphs, and this number, if you do, you know it's below 1 or more than minus 1, so you're happy. But to get rid of this sign, you have to use the inverse sign, which you can see on a calculator is located above the sine button. This is the inverse of sine. It's next to it, like times and dividing, they're the inverse, they're next to each other. Inverse, next to each other. So you press shift to get that yellow writing on mine, so shift sine of my answer, so again, we're not typing in all of this, hit equals, and we get 34.495, blah, 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 blah. Right, so what I've actually just done is I've now found that angle. So that is 34.49. I'm going to just round it now, actually. I've made it to 3 decimal places, and the question wants 3 significant figures, so I shouldn't be upsetting my accuracy too much. Now, in the original one, I needed this one, but I have this and this, so I can actually work this one out now. So if I do 180, the difference, find out the difference between 180, because all angles in a triangle add up to 180. So 180, take away my answer, take away 136. That is actually 9.504. So now what I can actually do is now use this formula with this as my angle. So m squared equals 15.7 little m plus 12.8 squared minus 2 times 15.7 times 12.8. I'm going to have to write this underneath, sorry, times cos of 9.504. Although I wrote it rounded, I haven't ever done that on my calculator yet. So I still have this in full, and I have to type in all of this. So what I'm actually going to do is do it a little bit backwards. I'm going to press cos of my answer, so I've now done that bit. I'm going to times that by 12.8, and times it by 15.7, and times that by 2, and now I'm going to press equals. So I've got in my calculator 396, blah de blah de blah. So now what I'm going to do is this bit, so I'm going to do 15.7 squared plus 12.8 squared, and then I'm going to minus my answer. And through BIDMAS it would do the squares first. So I make m squared to be 13.926, and that goes on. Now if you have rounded earlier, say for example use that, you're probably not going to be far off, so don't worry too much if you haven't understood what I've just done. Maybe round it, but keep as many decimal places as you can. Definitely don't do it to 1 or 2, so you keep your accuracy. And now if that's m squared, I need to find m, so I'm going to square root my answer, and I get 3.73 to 3 significant figures. 5 marks. Big 5 marks, but that's the difference between an A and an A-star student.